Now reluctantly, another piece of kit that I use is one of the stoves by Bushcraft Essentials. Now I say reluctantly, is that originally when I purchased one of these, I actually bought it through a recommendation from my mate Steve, UK, who runs the UK Preppers Guide website, and he comes out camping with us quite a bit, and he gets a lot of different kit thrown at him because of obviously the website promoting kit and everything else and circling it out there to you folks when you're maybe on the market for a new stove and such like. And for my own personal issue, what I had with Bushcraft Essentials was that I actually put a series of videos when I first got the steel one that I had. Now I've got a titanium one, but I'll get into that. But the reason why I reluctantly don't like to promote Bushcraft Essentials is simply because they left a bad taste in my mouth some years ago, that when I actually did put a video up, they blamed me for a lot of people contacting them and telling them that they wanted a discount when they actually bought their stoves. Now, you know, half a dozen of one and half a dozen of the other, and I never said that in the video, but you know, it is what it is. Even if they did actually give them a 5% discount on a stove, they still would have been quids in, wouldn't they? But that's regardless, you know what I mean. But I do actually like and it kind of left a bit of a sour taste in my mouth, but regardless of that, you know, turn over a new leaf. You can't be all that you can't be arsey with people like that. This year when I went to the UK, when I went to the preppers meet, my mate Steve was there, and they had there was a lot of poncho sales going on, and Steve had a load of gear laid out, and one of the items that he had laid out was the Bushcraft Essentials box with the titanium one. And Steve, I was willing to pay him for it, but he gave it to me, and you know what I mean, priceless, you know what I mean. I didn't know what to say to him. I almost felt a bit embarrassed taking it off his hands for free. But this is the Bushcraft Essentials stove. Now I understand that it actually comes now in a leather case, and there's a tray that sits underneath it. For me personally, what I tend to do, you might have seen in previous videos when I've gone out with, say, Mac Tightwad and we've gone over to Spooky Woods, I've used a piece of tin foil and placed that under there. But obviously if you want to, you know, purchase that item through Bushcraft Essentials, you know, please don't go over there and tell them you want a discount or anything like that, because flipping heck, you know, I don't want it coming back on me. But you know, the actual stove itself is brilliant. I mean, the weight wise, obviously titanium is a hell of a lot lighter, flat packs down to nothing, fits inside this nice nylon bag that's quite strong, velcro opening. I can't speak for the level one because I've only briefly seen it through Dave Fryers. Obviously everything slips in now. Now I'm only speaking through this stove, alright. A lot of people use honey stoves, a lot of people use wood gas stoves. Wood gas stoves I personally didn't get on with them. Honey stove, I've used the extra large one that Barney had when we did a camp out a couple of years ago. That I didn't mind that, but what I didn't like was putting it all together. It seemed like that you almost needed you know, like a degree. You didn't, but I mean, I'm exaggerating, but you needed sort of like a little bit more sort of like common sense about you putting it together, which I found a little bit fiddly. And then you've obviously got Lixada stoves and such like. Again, I haven't used one, have seen them in obviously social media and such like, but for me personally speaking, I've got the Bushcraft Essentials one. Now obviously when you purchase this, you get the stove itself, okay, which is obviously flat packed. You literally just grab it by the corners and then pull it out like so, and then inside you've got a solid tray there, which obviously goes in the bottom, which is hinged off on one side, and then if you look there, you've then got a mesh, sort of like quite a strong mesh there as well, that's hinged on the other side that sits in place. Now with this, you've got the option of either using a Trangia burner in there, or a burner of your choice, to Tonka one or whatever, or you can use, or you can burn wood in it just as it is like that. Also, you get a second mesh tray, which again can be used for either placing inside. On one side, you've got some holes. Just place them in there and then drop that inside like so, and then your burner would sit up with, you know, pretty common sense, your burner would then sit on there, and then finally you've got these two metal rungs that will then obviously go on the top there. You can also use this as well if you are using it for a fire, or if you were just going to use the, if you just wanted to use the burner, you can actually drop the bars in, place your pot on your burner on top there, and then obviously this is quite handy just for sticking on the top there, and then using for, you know, maybe cooking a piece of steak on it or meat or whatever of your choice, you know. So yeah, I mean, it's quite a, you know, I love it. I do think it's a nice bit of kit, very bomb proof. You know, as I say, I did have the steel one before. I sold that one on, obviously, once Steve had given me the titanium one. But if I didn't buy if I never got hold of a titanium one, I'd still be using I'll suck up the fact that it is a little bit heavy, and I'd still carry on using it. But what I do like about the beauty of this one is the fact that obviously now, being that it's titanium, lighter material, and of course I'm all about that sort of Desmuck sort of compact games. It's just great that when it goes back in that bag, it all fits away quite neatly, like most of the stoves do anyway. I'm still, like I said, I'm just talking about this one, and I mean, you can even get away with just sticking that in a pocket, alright, if you didn't want to carry it in your rucksack or your bum bag or whatever it is you're using. Alright, so there's another bit of kit that I like to use that I do recommend, and that is the titanium box by Bushcraft Essentials. Alright, cheers folks.